of dengue infections has been reported among students in the Western Province. Students allowed to wear a suitable dress covering the entire body during school time. A group of Sri Lankan doctors complete another significant surgery. A womb tumor weighing 10 kilos removed successfully. The Power and Energy Minister says that there is no shortage of fuel. 37 suspects indicted over the killing of former parliamentarian Amarakirthi Attukorala. The Kataragama annual Asal festival begins. Muthuraja elephant will be flown back to Thailand. Deadly heatwave claims nearly 100 lives in India.
Now for those and other stories in detail. The police has implemented a pilot project to nab drivers running vehicles under influence of drugs.
Police have checked 1,781 drivers recently and identified 41 people who have taken drugs. 56% of these persons have been consuming ice. Police conducted this check from the 12th to the 18th of this month in the Western Province. Out of the checked drivers, 41 three-wheel drivers were confirmed to have consumed illegal drugs. 23 people have taken ice and 18 have consumed cannabis. 9 were proved to have taken heroin. 10 drivers had both taken cannabis and ice. Several drivers had taken some pills with hallucination substances. 13 bus drivers have also been identified as drug users. State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawanna said that driving licenses of these suspects have been suspended for a period of 6 months to 1 year. Some have sentenced to 6 months of rigorous imprisonment. After reviewing the progress of this pilot project, it will be fully implemented from the 1st of August island-wide. Meanwhile, police have said 223 persons have been killed so far this year due to personal disputes. Police media spokesman SSP Nihal Talduva said that about 255 murders have been reported so far this year. Of this amount, 223 cases have been investigated at present. 20 persons have been killed in 34 shootings during the past period.
Now, Director of National Dengue Control Unit Consultant Dr. Nalin Ariyaratne says that there is a 25% increase of dengue patients in schools in the Western Province. Therefore, the authorities have focused attention to allow the students to wear suitable dresses covering the entire body. There are 45,823 dengue patients have been reported in the island at present. Out of the amount, over 20,800 patients are from the Western Province. It is a 50% of the entire amount. The Dengue Control Unit says that a considerable amount of cases have also been reported from Kurunagala, Kandy, Putlam and Batiklo districts. The Health Ministry and the National Dengue Control Unit has taken steps to implement a number of programs covering the high-risk zones island-wide. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit Consultant Dr. Nalin Ariyaratne said that when compared to the past years, about 300 to 400 cases are reportedly daily at present. There is a 25% risk of infecting dengue fever among school students in the Western Province. Therefore, a proposal has been made to let students to wear light-colored dresses over the uniform covering the entire body.
A team of surgeons at the Hambantota General Hospital successfully removed a uterine tumor weighing about 10 kilograms in a surgery conducted today. The team was headed by consultant obstetric and gynecologist Dr. Samantha Samaravikrama. The patient is a 49-year-old woman, a resident from Malay Colony in Ambalantota. She was admitted to the hospital complaining of difficulty of breathing. Later, she was subjected to a scan test and a tumor was traced. Consultant Dr. Samantha Samaravikrama said that a huge tumor had developed, pressuring the liver and lungs, causing difficulty in breathing. The surgery was conducted for about 2 hours and the patient is in good health at present. However, she will be kept in intensive care unit under the supervision of medical experts.
Now, All Island Poultry Farmers Association says that an egg can be given at 44 to 46 rupees if they are sold through Sathasa. They stressed that consumers can be provided with quality eggs through the system. The cost of manufacturing eggs is gradually decreasing. All Island Poultry Farmers Association says that this relief can be passed on to the general public. A kilo of chicken with skin is sold at 1,250 to 1,300 rupees at present. A skinless chicken is 1,400 rupees per kilo. The association says that these prices can be reduced further. A program was launched island-wide today to distribute chicks to revitalize eggs-producing businesses. The program was launched at the Gampa District Secretariat under the patronage of Trade Minister Nalin Fernando. All Island Animal Production and Farming Control Cooperative Society Limited has implemented this program. About 2,300 chicks were distributed among the farmers. Minister Nalin Fernando said that about 100,000 chicks will be distributed within the Gampa district in the next 3 weeks. In other 4.5 months, these birds will lay about 80,000 eggs daily. The government expects to implement this program in other districts as well. Indictments were handed over to 37 suspects of the assassination of former Polonnaruwa district parliamentarian Amarakirti Athukorala at the Gampa District High Court today.
Former parliamentarian Amarakirti Athukorala and his bodyguard were killed by a mob on the 9th of May last year in Nitambua area. The case was summoned for hearing for the first time today. 41 suspects have been identified by preliminary investigations. Out of them, 37 suspects were procured before the courts today. Police said 2 of the other 4 suspects have disappeared at present and 2 other suspects have died. The case was today heard by a 3-member panel of judges including DA Ruan Patharuna, Sean Mapa and Rashmi Singapuli. The case was postponed until the 7th of next month and suspects were remanded till then. The Colombo Magistrate Court today issued a warrant against former Minister Vimal Veerawansha as he didn't appear before the courts today. Vimal Veerawansha and several other suspects have been accused of under the charge of committing public nuisance, organizing a protest campaign in front of the UN offices in Colombo at the time of the UNHCR High Commissioner Prince Said Al Hussein's visit to Sri Lanka in 2016. The magistrate pointed out the case is impossible to be heard as all suspects evade the courts from time to time. The court is considering the relevant matter to be postponed until the case up to the 11th of September this year. Ravindu Sasanka de Silva, alias Burumuna, was produced before the Avisavela Magistrate Court today for an identification parade. He is accused of killing a Muslim businessman in Hangwanla area on the 18th of December last year by shooting the victim. 2 persons have identified the suspect at a parade today. Police informed the court that the suspect should be presented to the identification parade in Gaul and LPTA courts since the suspect is also involved in several other cases. Accordingly, the court ordered the suspect to be remanded until the 26th of this month. Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara says that there is no shortage of octane 95 petrol or any other variety of fuel in the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and the Lanka IOC companies at present. In a Twitter message, the minister stated that there is ample stock of fuel in the fuel stations as well.
The daily demand of octane 95 petrol is about 80 to 100 metric tons. The minister further said that there are about 601 metric tons of octane 95 petrol in the country at present. There is also a stock of over 53,000 metric tons of octane 92 petrol in the country. A stock of 103,000 metric tons of diesel are available at present. At a public rally held in Navalapit yesterday, the minister denied a fake news appeared through social media recently. The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, said that in a social media page, a certain group says that there is a shortage of octane 95 petrol. The government has decided not to issue octane 95 petrol stocks on credit. Therefore, some persons spread such rumours. Mr. Kanchana Wijesekara further said that the electricity bill is to be decreased by a considerable level in July this year and in January next year. Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara said that in the price revision in June, the electricity bill will be reduced by a certain extent. The group that consumes below 90 units will be given a concession of about 27%. The rates will be further reduced in the scheduled revision in January.
State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe says that the government has not yet taken a final decision on the local debt restructuring program. He made these remarks participating in a media briefing held at the President's Media Centre today. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe said that the government has not made a final decision on this matter. Minister Semasinghe further emphasised that as a government they always approach sensitive issues responsibly. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe also addressed the matter of domestic debt optimization in Parliament. The Central Bank and the Ministry of Finance have provided clarifications on the stance. He said that the focus of the government is on finding a solution for optimizing the bank and financial system of the country without negatively impacting the stability, which is crucial. Once the government reaches a final decision, they are prepared to inform both Parliament and the public. This is an extremely sensitive matter, significantly influencing the market situation. The IMF predicts a decrease in the negative growth rate from 7.8 to -3 by the end of the year. The annual Asala festival of the historic Runu Khattaragama Devalaya began today.
Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation is the official sponsor of this event. A large number of devotees have arrived in the Khattaragama sacred site at present. The inaugural Perahara of the Asala festival will parade the streets tonight. About 30,000 pilgrims have arrived in the Khattaragama sacred site from the northern and eastern provinces and up-country areas through Padayatra. A large number of devotees are living upon either sides of the streets where the Perahara will parade today. All religious observances were conducted prior to the commencement of the Perahara today. Police, Civil Defence Force and Sri Lankan Army have implemented a special security program in the secret areas. The Khattaragama Asala festival will be concluded on the 3rd of next month. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation invites the people to visit the Khattaragama sacred city and get blessings. The elephant named Muthuraja, which was offered to Sri Lanka from Thai government several years ago, will be sent back to Thailand.
All arrangements have been finalized to airlift the elephant on the 2nd of the next month. A special container has been prepared to dispatch the elephant in a safe manner. The Mout and the officials of the zoological gardens are familiarizing the elephant into the container these days. It will take 6.5 hours to flight from Colombo to Thailand. However, the elephant will not have to be in a special container for about 12 hours. The elephant's health has severely declined due to shortcomings of the rearing of the elephant in Sri Lanka. Its legs are inoculated due to the weakness. However, 90% of the wounds on the elephant's leg have been well treated and the elephant is now recovering considerably. The Thailand Embassy has issued a special announcement thanking the officials of the Dehiwala Zoological Gardens for taking care of the ailing jumbo.
Now, the Government Pharmacist Association warns that unless a proper drug regulatory system is not implemented in the health sector, number of patients and deaths could be increased in future. Although the National Medicine Regulatory Authority has been established under the recommendation of the World Health Organization, the authority has declined owing to inefficiency of the officials at present. At a press briefing held today, the Government Pharmacist Association says that the reason for death of many patients and complexities reported during the past period are solely due to the issuance of drugs to hospitals and pharmacies without conducting proper quality tests. President of the Government Pharmacist Association, Tushara Ranadeva, said that a patient who underwent a surgery at the Peradini hospital had died of medicinal drug poisoning recently. A pregnant mother also died at the delivery due to taking improper medicine. Substandard medicine are available at the market due to failures of the authority. Chairman of the National Medicine Regulatory Authority, Professor S.B. Jayaratne, expressed views regarding the accusations levelled against the authority. Chairman of the National Medicine Regulatory Authority, Professor S.B. Jayaratne, said that some varieties of medicine may cause some circumstances due to various reasons. Even some registered drugs have been reported outdated and low quality. Now, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardene thanked the outgoing High Commissioner of the United Kingdom, Sarah Houghton, for her persistent effort to strengthen the friendly relations between Sri Lanka and the UK.
He said this when the High Commissioner paid a farewell call on him at Temple Trees today. Prime Minister said that the untiring efforts of the High Commissioner to further strengthen the Sri Lanka and UK bilateral partnership were praiseworthy. The Prime Minister also said that during her assignment in Sri Lanka in 2019, a strong presence of the US in Sri Lanka was maintained with engagement in diverse areas. The High Commissioner, Sarah Houghton, said that the support extended by Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardene during his tenure as the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Education, as well as during his tenure as the Prime Minister, was a great strength for her successful to carry out the work to promote the bilateral relations between the two countries.
The several electoral Bala Mandala meetings of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held in several areas yesterday. The Ratnapur electorate meeting was held at the Municipal Council Auditorium under the patronage of Minister Pavitravahini Arachi. State Ministers P.L. Nishant and Janaga Wakkumbura, Parliamentarian Nama Rajapaksa and several others were present at this occasion. Minister Pavitravahini Arachi says that they have responsibility to take the misled people into the right track. Some elements are attempting to demean the war victory and the vast development carried out by the SLPP government. As the party leaders, we have a responsibility to direct the youth towards the right track. The Navalapitiya electoral Bala Mandala was held at the Mahindananda Foundation in Navalapitiya. It was organized by Parliamentarian Mahindananda Alutgamage, Ministers Kanchana Wijesekara and Prasanna Ranatunga, State Ministers Anuradha Jayaratne, Parliamentarians Tissa Kuttiarachchi, Sagar Karyavasam and some party supporters were present at this meeting.
Leader of the National People's Power, Anukumara Dissanayake, says that the Sri Lanka will be transformed into a country with disciplined people are essential to develop a country. Anukumara Dissanayake made these comments addressing MPP's district summit held in Anuradhapura yesterday. The summit was held in Anuradhapura Yoguni Niketanaya. A large number of party supporters and representatives were present at the summit. The leader of the National People's Power, Anukumara Dissanayake, said that the society has severely declined at present. In the history, it was said a girl attired with gold jewellery was able to travel alone through the country as well in a secure manner. However, today's members of the societies have become wayward and even children have become victims in the hands of these criminals. Foreign countries, the road accidents are rare. However, in Sri Lanka, a large number of people are killed daily by road accidents. Sri Lanka has become a lawless and insecure country at present. We must build up the country with spiritual discipline. Without discipline, economic and physical development is fruitless. The leader of the National People's Power stressed the National People's Power will definitely make Sri Lanka a well-disciplined country.
The General Secretary of the United National Party, Palitha Rangabandara, says that private sector-oriented economic system should be implemented in the island as well. In foreign countries, the private sector provides majority of employment opportunities for the citizens. He made these remarks participating in the United National Party Chilla Electorate Bala Mandala meeting held recently. General Secretary of the United National Party, Palitha Rangabandara, said that other political parties always speak against working with the private sector. They accuse the government of privatizing the state institutions. The countries like Japan and Korea, railway infrastructure system, including the track and railway stations, belong to the government. However, the private companies are responsible for running trains. The government only play the role of regulating. We should set up such a system in Sri Lanka as well.
එක සමාගම් වලට කෝච්චි වලට එක පාට දෙනවා. වෙලාවට වැඩ කටයුතු කරනවා. ආණ්ඩුව මේක නියාමනය කරනවා. ලංකාවේ මේ වැඩ කටයුතු කරලා නියාමනය කරොත් තමයි පහසුකම් තියෙන රටක ජීවත් වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
The Kundasala UNP electorate Bala Mandala meeting also held at Balagola area in Kandy yesterday under the patronage of Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Ruwan Wijewardene, and Chairperson of UNP Lakwanitha Organisation, Shantini Kongahage. We'll be back with foreign news after this break.
Prima Kotumi, Fantamai!
Welcome back. On foreign news, at least 96 people are reported to have died from heat-aggravated conditions during the blistering heat wave across two of India's most populous states over the past several days. Meanwhile, questions have been raised after more than half of the deaths were reported in a single district. The deaths have been reported from the northern state of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar in the state, where 45 Celsius temperatures were recorded over the past few days, coupled with humidity. Heat waves are common in northern India, especially in May and June, but experts say they have become more intense and frequent and last longer. During last week's 54 deaths were reported in Balila district, close to state capital Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. The state government has set up a panel to submit a report on the deaths. In neighbouring Bihar state, reports have indicated that more than 40 people had died due to heat since May 31st, but the state government has not confirmed the number. During the heat waves, India usually suffers several water shortages, with tens of millions of its 1.4 billion population lacking running water.
Meanwhile, Chinese President Xi Jinping met with visiting U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken today in Beijing. China's President Xi Jinping held a progress in talks with the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. The final engagement visit aimed at ensuring disputes between the superpowers would not spiral into conflict. The two delegations held 30-minute meetings to help facilitate the summit between the President Xi and U.S. President Joe Biden later this year. Biden and Xi last met on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia in November, pledging more frequent communications, although ties between them have deteriorated over issues ranging from Taiwan to espionage concerns. The two sides have also made progress and reached agreements on several specific issues during the talks. President Xi has said China hopes to see a sound and steady U.S.-China relationship. The U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken earlier spent hours in the meeting of the Chinese top diplomat Wang Yi and Foreign Minister Qin Gang. Blinken had planned to visit February but postponed the trip after USA shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon. China-US ties have steadily declined due to trade conflicts, tensions over human rights and Taiwan, among other issues.
Voters in Switzerland have backed a new climate bill designed to cut fossil fuel use and reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. The Swiss government has indicated that the country needs to protect its energy security and the environment as glaciers melt rapidly in the Swiss Alps. The law will require a move away from dependence on imported oil and gas towards the use of renewable sources. In yesterday's referendum, 59.1% of voters backed the green energy proposals. Opponents had argued the measures would push up energy prices. Nearly all of Switzerland's major parties supported the bill, except the right-wing Swiss People's Party, which triggered the referendum after pushing back against the government's proposals. Switzerland imports about three-quarters of its energy, with all the oil and natural gas consumed coming from abroad.
A powerful 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Mexico yesterday, according to the Geological Survey of USA. The quake occurred at around 7 kilometers of depth, 120 kilometers off of San Jose del Cabo. As per Mexico's National Seismic Service, the National Weather Services of US's tsunami warning system said the quake was unlikely to generate a tsunami. Initial reports have suggested the quake has not caused any damage. Mexico is no stranger for strong seismic activity. The country is home to numerous active volcanoes. In 2022, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake impacted the state of Colombia and Michoacán, triggering effects across the North America. In 2017, a 7.1 earthquake hit Mexico City, killing at least 217 people.
As summer begins, many parts of China are gripped with heat wave. To help the 14 tigers escape the heat, the research base of South China Tiger Breeding in Shaoguan has built swimming pools for them. The South China tiger falls under China's first-class state protection and has been listed as a critically endangered species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature since 1996. China is the only habitat for South China tigers. So far, some 200 of the tigers are alive and dwell in zoos or breeding bases across the country, and all are descendants of just 6 South China tigers with the risk of genetic disease at the higher level. The Paris Air Show opened today with last-minute jet order negotiations and supply chain headaches competing for attention with rows of missiles, drones and futuristic transport. The world's largest air show, which alternates with Farnborough in Britain, is at Loughborough for the first time in 4 years after the 2021 edition fell victim to the pandemic. French President Emmanuel Macron flew into the packed aerospace bazaar by helicopter. He watched a flying demonstration including Airbus's latest jet development, A321XLR, and air power including the French Rafale fighter. The US F-35 fighter was due to fly later today. The air show is taking place under the shadow of conflict in Ukraine, with no Russian presence in the chalet of the exhibition halls, in contrast to the last event of 4 years ago.
Kami, pantamay!
At first, we look at the sporting world. In the cricketing world, Sri Lanka won the first match of the ICC World Cricket qualifiers against UAE today. The match was played at Queen's Park Ground in Bulawayo.
UAE won the toss and elected to field first. Accordingly, Sri Lanka scored 355 runs for the loss of 6 wickets. Kusal Mendis scored 78 runs, while Sadira Samaravikrama scored 73 runs. Pathum Nisanka and Dimut Karunaratne also scored half centuries.